Hello and welcome back to the Tuesday Checklist, the weekly show where we use video games as an excuse to take the mick out of each other for 20 minutes. With Overcooked now available as a free download with PlayStation Plus, we got to thinking about the first time we played it. Ooh, look how cute and lovely the graphics are. This will be a nice gentle laugh between friends. How wrong we were. Overcooked is a multiplayer gem where things can get a little heated if your teamwork isn't up to scratch, especially if I'm playing and just start setting things on fire. This got us thinking, what other games did we wrongly judge before we'd properly played them? Elle's up first with an absolute classic.
If there's one game that I completely, misunderstood from my first understanding of it, it would be Everybody's Gone to the Rapture.
I thought you were going to say Everybody's Golf.
Yeah, that too. Did you know it's about basketball? Very nice. Anyway. So I before that, I hadn't played anything like that. That's not really my style. I'm not somebody that just wants to walk in a game. So I thought it was going to be a beautiful wander through English countryside, which is what I'd seen from the footage. You know, it's very beautiful, there's lovely twinkly lights, it's kind of this like gorgeous glowing experience, and it's actually just devastation from about 2 minutes in, like the most beautiful devastation I've ever witnessed. But I didn't realise that it was going to be just this beautiful story of people and lives and who we love and what's important to us when it really comes down to it. And you know, quite literally, spoiler alert, you know, our last days on Earth, what would matter, who would we go to, who would we turn to, who would we reach out for. And yeah, that's not normally what I do on a walk through the countryside. I was kind of blown away, and then obviously again, serious spoiler alert if you haven't played it, you know, spoiler alert.
Just gonna put my fingers in my ears.
Yeah. At the end, it is revealed what is happening and why it is the end of the world, which is something that you're slowly figuring out through little fragments, little flashbacks of people's last moments. Okay, so I feel like I'm only talking to Rob now.
It takes like 3 hours to finish. You people.
Yeah. And so obviously at the very end, it turns out to be, I would say aliens, but that feels very reductive. But it is some kind of otherworldly, off-planet force.
It's sort of abstract, isn't it?
Yeah, so you never kind
of it.
Yeah, but that would never have been what I expected. And so I think that was just, if somebody had told me it was going to be an atmospheric alien game, I'd have been very excited. But that's kind of what it turned out to be, and the kind of beautiful final scene where you talk to that consciousness that's come to our planet, and it explains why it's there in a very vague way that somehow makes incredible sense. And you're like, yes, I understand, take me too. But like, you know, so I just didn't, I think I had no understanding of what it was going to be. And I think that's why it impacted me so intensely, and why it's a game I genuinely think about every day. I just wake up and I'm like, oh yeah, that moment. Like, because it was so beautiful, and it was just so unexpected. I just had no idea what I was going into. As I said, I truly thought I was probably going to be bored, and I think it's probably the game that I've been least bored in my entire life, where every single second, you know, it was trying to figure out what happened, to listen to these stories that just capture you, and so for me it was just an incredible transformative experience that I thought was going to be a walk through a field.
A game that I have misjudged by its cover, not its actual cover. I don't actually think it has a cover. I don't think it's a boxed game. But maybe by its art style and the fact that it is called Duck Game. Now, Rob's face has instantly dropped there. The man who's been bitten by Duck Game.
All I can hear is
Rosie, have you played Duck Game?
I played it for a video for here.
No way.
Yeah, I
Well, then
did.
you're very lucky. And Elle, are you aware of Duck Game?
No, and I'm so excited.
Oh, Duck Game is so good. I mean, Duck Game, what is it? It's like a multiplayer,
it's a
platform, free-for-all kind of shooter.
Yeah.
2D, side-on, you play as ducks, and there are random weapons in the levels that you pick up and you shoot each other. That is basically it. That has made Duck Game sound 1/10 as good as it is. It's very good. Yes, duck game. It's like it's kind of pixel art. You're playing as a duck. Why? There's no explanation. I don't know that there's a story. It's kind of like the Olympic Games. Like midway through you play a series of rounds, and midway through you have this weird scoreboard where the ducks go and throw stones along the ground to show how many points they have. What's going on? It's absolutely mental. You can change your heads. You can wear hats and things. No idea why, just for reasons. You can quack on command. There is no gameplay purpose for this.
just to annoy.
Just to annoy.
Just to annoy. Like whenever Dave has won a round, he'll just whack.
Whack, 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 whack.
Is this the dabbing of...
oh, yeah. This is the teabagging. This is how ducks teabag. All of these things make duck games seem quite simple and quite stupid and quite not worth your time, maybe, if you're mean. But it's the opposite of that. It's brilliant. It's incredibly nuanced. It's a game that it is really silly and fun on the surface, and I highly recommend getting like a group of 4 people, say, who have an evening free, play duck game. At first it will be laughs and like, oh my god, duck game, it's so funny. What are we all doing? Very quickly it will get very serious and everybody will get into it so much. It becomes really hard. There's loads of tactics, there's loads of subterfuge, you can throw weapons, you can leave mines, there's a lot going on. It's really, really great, and that is a game that I definitely misjudged and quickly not regretted misjudging. I was happy I had. I think it's fantastic, and I will play any of you at it right now.
Okay, so a game that I judged on its cover and quickly learned that was a foolish mistake is a game that I don't think any of you will have heard of. It's a game called Unlimited Saga.
Nope, never heard of that one.
It's part of the Saga series.
What?
It's a series of JRPGs, basically.
Okay.
I'm shocked.
Unlimited Saga came out in 2002. I think just after Final Fantasy X, and I just got my PS2. I got my PS2 quite late for my 16th birthday. I think the PS2 had already been out a few years by that stage, and so I got Final Fantasy X. I was a massive fan of Final Fantasy. Finished off Final Fantasy X, and was very keen to spend my pocket money that I earned from my first Saturday job, which I just spent on games. That's all I spent with it. I didn't save it up or do anything responsible with it. And I found this game called Unlimited Saga, and the cover looked amazing. Like it had Square Enix on it. It's made by Square Enix, so instantly I was like, oh, it's going to be just like Final Fantasy, yeah. And I got it home, and it was not like Final Fantasy. It was really hardcore. You probably quite like it actually, Dave. It's like a board game style thing where you move through the world on what looks like a bit of a board game style grid, and occasionally you will encounter traps or locked doors, and there's like this thing called the reel system, almost like a spinning reel in a casino. Basically like you're rolling a dice, and each thing you do, you have your stats obviously, but you also have the dice roll as well to account for whether or not you succeed in all of your various actions. I just thought it was going to be another Final Fantasy game, and I was just maybe in actual tears, I think. Just in terms of the difficulty, I just couldn't play the game. It had 7 characters on the front, and on the back it was like, oh, each character's story is different, and each character has 100 hours of gameplay, so this is going to be like 700 hours of epic JRPG, and I was like, oh, yes! And then it just cut to me on my bedroom floor like, I can't even beat one monster. I don't even know why I can't beat this monster. I didn't even understand what my attacks were doing, because even when you attack a monster, you have your attack, but then you still have to spin the reel, which determines how successful your attack is. And it could be that your attack does like extra damage, or it could be that it misses completely and fails. And there was me, I just hit a brick wall that I did not know was coming. I was expecting a nice, gentle, beautiful Final Fantasy adventure, and I got a really strategical, hardcore JRPG battle system that just, it was not for me. It was, my brain was not geared out for this. And I failed miserably, and I believe traded it in a couple of days later, feeling very ashamed of myself with my tail between my legs. So yeah.
My entry is a game that I've actually played recently, and everyone told me that I really needed to play this game because a lot of people know my love for rhythm video games, and that is Patapon. Have you guys played Patapon at all?
I have heard of it.
That's the thing, it's a game that loads of people heard of. It was back in the PSP day, because I believe it came out at the same time as like Loco Roco.
Yeah.
So of course that's another very colourful, cartoony game, and so I adore Loco Roco, I think it's fantastic. And then everyone's been like, oh, you should try out Patapon, you'll love it. You love Parappa the Rapper and all these rhythm games, play it, you'll find it brilliant. So I played it when the remaster came out on the PS4, and at first I was like, yeah, I'm really liking this. Like, I like the little black sort of creature things. They're all really sweet. They're all like a lovely little tribe. And then you start learning the rhythm. You've got like these godly drums and you have to do it in time with the beat, like pata, pata, patapon and stuff like that.
So that's why it's called Patapon.
Yeah, I think Patapon's how you move forward. And then you've got like different buttons to press to do different things because there's an attack mode. So whereas I thought you were just going to be having a lovely walk, you know, drumming these godly drums, putting the tribe through all the countryside and the world that it's in, like you get faced with dragons, monsters, other tribal things, and you have to fight them whilst still keeping in time with the beat. So when you're moving forward, you go like pata, 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 pon, and then to attack it's like pon, pon, pata, pon. So you're trying to keep the rhythm whilst you've got this tribe who are throwing arrows and swords at you, and you're trying to balance all this out. It was a completely different experience. I went in there thinking, oh yeah, I love this little tribe, let's go on a little adventure. And then suddenly like you have to level up your swords, you have to like organize your tribe people, like maybe you've got an archer at the back and then swordsman at the front. And I was just doing all of this stuff and I was like, oh my god, I really wanted these little guys to progress. This is more than just a simple little rhythm game. This is a tribe. These are my people. They look at me as their lord. And then you've got new drums coming in. I think there's one that goes like taka, but I can't remember how that goes. This might be taka taka patapon or something. And it's like you're looking at the dragon as well, and sometimes he can prepare for like a big attack and you see him sort of like stand back and he's like, you know, move like getting ready. That was a dragon getting ready attack.
Got that. I thought it was very good. Yeah.
Thank you very much. But the whole time you're there, and if you've told your crew to move forward, you have to wait until the next beat until you can tell to attack it.
Right.
So you could have already done like pata pata patapon and move forward. I'm gonna look like an idiot if I've got them the wrong way around now. But you move forward and then that dragon could then attack you. And then you should have done pata pata patapon and you should have done the different one. It's just, I never thought it would have worked. A rhythm game with a strategy, never thought it would have worked, but Patapon has made it work and absolutely adore it.
I really want to play it now.
It's so much fun.
You sold me.
Literally for the rest of the week, I've been walking like to work to the train station. I've been going pata pata pata. It just gets stuck in your head. What about pon pon pata pon?
Oh, I'm back in.
There you go.
I like the sound of taka taka as well. You can't. What? I don't know how to sit. We don't have any cushions yet. Still.
Elle laughing behind me.
What is so funny?
You're going to draw attention to it.
To what?
Just sit how you feel comfortable.
I feel comfortable at this.
Okay.
Just really relaxed.
Okay.
Just really, yeah, just really
Totally
relaxed.
casual. Good.
Just totally cash. Let's talk about some games.
I think you're just funny to look at, Dave. Just in general, there's not really much you can do about it. Let us know in the comments what games you judged based on their looks. Give us a like if you enjoyed the video and hit that notification bell so you know instantly when a new Tuesday checklist goes live. Thanks for watching and see you next week.
For the players.